Yuhan R&D Institute is a dynamic pharmaceutical research hub that develops innovative new drugs. Our patient-focused approach to R&D positions Yuhan Corporation as an emerging leader and ideal international partner in the global pharmaceutical marketplace. In addition to creating quality pharmaceuticals, Yuhan scientists study the cutting-edge platform technologies that help create tomorrow's breakthrough medicines.
건강한 혈행을 위한 오메가3 프로메가, 건조한 눈, 기억력 개선까지 프로메가.
건강도 프로답게 관리하세요.
프로가 선택한 오메가3 프로메가.
종근당 건강.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for coming and listening to our talk. We're on at 12 o'clock, which is the lunch break. So unfortunately, some people perhaps couldn't wait and are out getting lunch. But hopefully, at the back end of the presentation, we'll have a few more come along. So I'm from CSIRO, and I'm part of Health and Biosecurity. So I'm going to tell you a bit about what we do, and then I'm going to hand you over to two of our research team who are going to talk to you about some of the amazing projects that we are working on. So, we are Australia's public research organisation, and we conduct projects with industry, and we also work jointly to develop projects of global impact that have that we develop IP. We work on part contract revenue, and we collaborate with countries worldwide, including Korea. So, a little bit about ourselves. So we've got over 5,000 staff members in Australia, and that is direct employees. Outside of that, we've got thousands more connected with universities and other research organisations that we partner with. We like to generally form projects which are multi-collaborative projects, so that we have a greater reach of impact, but also we can have a much larger funding base to deliver a greater amount of research. Our budget is over $1 billion a year, so that's made up of about $700 million worth of revenue that we get from the Australian government, and that's direct revenue to us. Outside of that, there's about another $600 million that we get that is external revenue, and that is mostly made up of collaborative research projects with industry and also IP revenue. So a lot of you probably have used WLAN and know of wireless LAN. So that was a Csiro invention originally developed as part of our program using telescopes, and that then translated into the IT industry and what we use every day in our mobile phones and computers. I'll move on. So, as I said, we have a large focus on working with industry, and we have over 2,000 industry partners worldwide that we work with, 500 plus million per year. 370 of those are multinational organisations. Over the last 50 years, we've spun out 150 plus companies, and the headline number there is 74% are still active, which is a great achievement because you listen to talks about startups and generally 2 out of 3 fail, whereas we're 3 out of 4 successful. We're also Australia's largest patent holder. At the point of writing of this slide, it was 1862. I would guesstimate that it'd be about 2000 now, I'd say. Yeah, we hold a lot of patents, and we work with industry to, once we have them, to drive those out into a commercial setting. Some of the research facilities we have the AAL facility, the Australian Animal Health Facility in Geelong, which is about an hour south of Melbourne, and that facility has facilities up to BSL 4. So we've worked on and can work on a range of highly infectious diseases such as Ebola, bird flu, African swine fever, and so on. Amongst our contributions to health, we developed the world first Hendra vaccine. I've got another slide that I'll explain a bit more on that. Rabbit biocontrol. One part of our business, although I suppose it doesn't really connect that much with the theme of BioKorea, but we have a large biocontrol program in terms of protecting Australia's borders from invasive species. Rabbits has probably been one of the most successful of all of those programs in terms of maintaining some more equilibrium for farmers, because 60 years ago, rabbits were a massive problem. But yeah, you can see a range of research projects that we have worked on, and the other one I'll note is Relenza. You remember back when we had the potential pandemic, and people were stockpiling Relenza and Tamiflu. Relenza was a Csiro invention. I mentioned about managing invasive species. So we work actively to protect Australia's borders from invasive plant, animals and diseases, but we also work in collaboration with a lot of organisations, including in Korea and also in the US with the USDA, on protecting borders globally from the threat of invasive plant, animal and disease. Within the Health and Biosecurity Business Unit, which is one of 8 within the organisation, we have six core areas of research. We're here representing the managing invasive species and diseases part of health and biosecurity, where we are working on disease prevention and detection. We're working on the potential impact of pests, weeds, pathogens, and outside of that, we have core research that connects with human health, nutrition, protecting borders, also future science. We have what's called future science platforms, where we have a lot of young emerging researchers, such as PhD students and postdocs who are working on that next generation science. I mentioned about the Animal Health Laboratory and also Hendra. So those of you who don't know what Hendra is, that was in 1994, 13 horses in a racehorse stable in the suburb of Hendra in Brisbane died of a new virus that no one knew of. A year later, a racehorse trainer, I think it was in Mackay or Gladstone, also died of this virus, so it became zoonotic. We diagnosed, the diagnostic team isolated, identified the virus, and we worked to develop a world-first commercial vaccine for Hendra. And I believe it has been the also a world first in terms of a vaccine for a dangerous pathogen, I think. But anyway, we're world first Hendra vaccine. So, in terms of big ideas, I mentioned YLAN, I mentioned Relenza, RNAi technology as well. You may have heard of RNAi. we've worked actively in the plant space with RNAi to develop a lot of different hybrid cottons, for example, that pest resilient and also water use less water. We're still actively involved in that space. We developed the world first extended contact lens, which you don't have to take out every day. Outside of that, I'm going to talk about a couple of the new projects. Well, I'm going to talk about one of them, and then I'm going to lead into the rest of our research team. A project that I have been, actively involved in is Go Eggs, which is we're developing a world-first allergen-free egg. So, the research team have identified a specific protein that causes is the dominant protein for egg allergies. Egg allergies are a problem worldwide, affect more than 40 million children, affect adults, anaphylaxis, possible death. It's a problem, and it was one that hit home to me because I have a daughter who has an egg allergy. First time that happened, we were in a panic. What do you do? Egg allergy. We went to the doctor. They gave her a shot of steroids, and she was okay. But I did think when I saw the project that that would be, what if we could, rather than have avoidance, which is the only option at the moment, you could have an actual product that is safer for people to consume, and families could be a lot more, feel a lot more confident in giving their child even something like a birthday cake that they can enjoy with an allergen-free egg. So we identified the dominant protein. Through precision breeding down in our Geelong facility, we have successfully, or we're on the road to successfully breeding a line of chickens which will lay eggs that don't have the dominant protein, and then that protein is the only one which isn't heat resistant. There's three other main proteins that cause those allergens. Overmucoid, which is the dominant protein, is the only one that isn't heat resistant. So once you heat it up, once you cook it, you should have a product which is safe for people to consume and non-allergenic. That project is fairly well advanced, but we are looking at potential investment, potential collaboration, and please, for that one and the others, come over to the Australia booth anytime over the next 2 days. The other two, which my colleagues Ryan and Andrew are going to be talking about, one is Diagameres, which is next generation diagnostics, and Vaximizer, which Andrew is going to be talking about, which discusses, which addresses the problem we have with the vaccine yield in eggs and developing an egg with a much higher yield. So, look, thank you all for listening to my introduction. Kamsahamnida, and please come down to the Australia booth and see us at any time over the next 2 days. We'll be in and out. If you miss us, please just let us know that you've come, and we're more than happy to see you if you have any other questions. But I'm going to hand you over to Ryan now, who's going to talk about Diagameres. So thank you very much.
아기에게 락토핏 핏 아이들도 락토핏 핏 우리 가족 락토핏
맞춤형 생유산균.
내 몸에 핏 락토핏 종근당 건강.
당신이 밀려오는 두통을 참고 있을 때 당신의 친구들은 밀려오는 음악에 몸을 맡기고 있다.
두통? 참으면 당신만 손해. 참지 말고 즐겨라. 펜잘.